Hey everyone, my name is Ivory and thanks for watching Astral Ivory. Today we are going to be channeling the Nazca Aliens and I have a really special guest for you guys. Her name is Alison Ailfinn Allan and she is an amazing medium, and today she will be translating for the Nazca Aliens as well as my spiritual guide Curtis, who will share his wisdom from beyond with all of us. But be forewarned, he is super blunt, but that's okay. We love that. And Allison, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yep, yep. I've been a medium only for a couple of years. It really started with channeling Eric, and I've been had psychic abilities all my life. I just haven't pursued it, and it sort of exploded in the last 5, 6 years, probably a bit longer now. And when I saw Jamie Butler channeling Eric, I was so enthralled by her. I thought, I want to be her. I want to be her. So she's been my inspiration to do this sort of work. So yeah, and I've met such amazing beings. It's just been incredible.
I know. I mean, even watching the Shiny show, I mean, you interviewed God's God and then God's God's
Oh
God,
yeah, yeah. And
and
we when we did we just had a big event in the UK, and we actually channeled Infinity, which is everything included. When I say everything, I
right.
mean there's not just one God. Obviously, you know that already. There are an infinite number of gods because the energy that we come from is infinite.
Yeah.
There's no beginning, no end, and yeah. So I want to explore that a bit more on the Shiny Show as well. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay, my mind's blown right now. Oh
Yeah,
my.
it is mind-blowing stuff, but once you start tapping into the energy and feeling it and really bringing it into your awareness, there's nothing like it. It's
Yeah,
just amazing. Mm.
that's awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay, so
Absolutely.
do we have the Nazca aliens today?
Well, we do. Now, I kind of feel like I'm connecting to them as a collective group, not just as an individual. And there's some very strange sounds coming from them. It's probably their language. Hopefully, they will just send me energy so I can translate it, convert it to English. But right now, I can hear words. It sounds like Nauru, and it's a really guttural language. Nakaaru. I don't know what that means, but hopefully it's a greeting. Hopefully it's something nice.
Oh wow, so they are benevolent, or
Well, they said, "What's your interpretation of benevolent?" Because they don't really interact with us per se. Right, as human beings. So they interacted with human beings that were then quite a different species to us, even though they're the same species. It's different in terms of spiritual evolution, spiritual knowledge, knowledge of physics, astrophysics, those kinds of things. So they interacted with people from a completely different time period, right?
oh
So,
wow.
so in terms of benevolence, what is your interpretation of benevolence? That's what they're saying because you might interpret benevolence as something different to what those people did back then.
I guess for me, just peaceful. You know, nothing, no evil intentions. You know, not trying to abduct anyone, anything like that.
Saying that they worked very closely with the what we call the human populations back then. They worked with them on a like a caregiver kind of way, as the superior is not a good word to use, but I don't have another one. As the sort of superior race, as the race that knew more, knows more, has more information. Um, so they are giving me the word caregiver. So they looked after those people as a caregiver. So your interpretation of benevolence is yes, that would seem benevolence. As far as they're concerned, they didn't do anything to cause harm.
Okay, so in recent updates, it's been said that the DNA of the Nazca aliens, not the reptile type bodies, not the little ones, but the larger ones, because the little ones are more reptile-y looking, and then the larger ones, I don't know what to call it, if it's more humanoid, but they have the long fingers. One of them is named Maria. So the ones that look like they're long, those lines, they were said to be a match to human DNA. So I'm just wondering, were the three-fingered bodies a hoax? Were they manipulated in some way to appear as a hoax? Or do we just share some type of DNA or similar DNA?
I feel like I've got a combination of alien groups. There actually feels like there's three groups to me. They're telling me that there's hybrids and there's pure, and then there's the reptilian kind. But there's also actually another one that's coming through from behind that, which is the elongated skull race. They're all coming through as a collective. They're all telling me that they highly populated um, that area of the world. I take it South America. We're talking about Nazca, South
Yeah.
America. Um, they they've shown me that they had lives much like we do now, but like we've got different races interacting with each other.
Yeah.
Like you just said before the show, you went to England, right? So you're American, and you went to England, and what they're giving me, it's the same for them. It was a multi-race location that they live with. So it's not a surprise that the DNA has those similarities, because some of them are interbred with the local human populations.
Oh,
Some
okay.
some of them were manipulated. DNA was manipulated, and some of them were full-blooded races that we consider to be aliens.
Oh
They're
my
actually telling me
gosh.
they're not actually aliens. They are species that evolved in and around this planet long before really humanity came to be.
What?
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Because I thought they were aliens. I was thinking they had come from, another planet or something, but them being from Earth, that's crazy. I mean, was this like around the time of like Atlantis or Lemuria or before then?
Before even, before they're saying that the human evolution, we we see it as many thousands of years, but that includes when humans were not really humans; they were still sort of primates, right? There was a lot of primates. We kept a lot of come from primates, but they're saying that a lot of the other races where there's DNA, strange anomalies going on in the DNA around the planet, is because there has been so many interactions with what we call aliens now. Some of them, yes, have come from elsewhere. We're talking planet-wide now. And history, we're not just talking about a short time frame, we're talking about the whole history of the planet, not the whole history of the human race, the whole history of the planet. So there are those aliens that evolved here, which a lot of them did, and then there are aliens that came from somewhere else, and then there was the human population which was developed and assisted by alien intervention.
Wow, so are we actually descendants of the Nazca aliens?
Yeah, some are.
Some are.
Yes, some people are descendants of those. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, them coming from Earth actually just the first half of my questions don't apply anymore. But okay, so were you here to teach humans anything?
You could, they said you can only really ask that question if you see them as a species that came in to do a specific job. But you have to look at it from the perspective of an evolutionary process, right? So
Yeah.
their purpose was not to teach humans to do anything. Their purpose was to exist and to develop in their own right as a species. And the interaction was merely part of the planet's um, natural life. What do you call it? Nature. This is part of nature.
Oh, wow. Okay. Are there any of you on the planet right now?
Yes. Yeah. They keep showing me Russia, actually.
Russia?
Keep showing me that, yeah, that Russia, that whole map of Russia. It's so big. It's such a vast tract of land. They keep showing me that as a place where they have many. They're talking about colonies, many colonies, hidden from human eyes mostly, but they are there.
So they came from a really tropical region to Russia, which has, the coldest winters. So I'm just wondering, did their physical selves also evolve to match their environment?
They're saying that they are not really any different to us. As a species of human, if we go and live in a cold climate, we develop ways to combat the cold. We develop ways to combat the heat. They're no different. They're actually sounding, from what I've got so far, they're sounding very much like us.
Wow. So are they living underground or like a different dimension?
Right. So some of them are underground. They have underground facilities and dimensionally. They have species in other dimensions because they're saying that they are far evolutionary on the evolutionary scale. They are far more evolved than the human species is, and so to live a transdimensional existence is really part of the normal thing for them.
So they're able to be in our dimension and their dimension. It's just it's like what's the word I'm trying to find? Like like the astral project, or it's that's just like how they are. They can just come in and out of dimensions.
Right. They're all right. They're talking about metaphysics now, and they can shift their physicality from one dimensional plane to another quite easily. Right? They are so far advanced in their physical and spiritual evolution that they can do that. Um, they're giving me a lot of pictures. I'm trying to sort them out in my head. So they can communicate with us like they are now, which is uh, like a spiritual. It's like talking to a spirit, but it's we're talking to them, but not in their physical bodies. We're talking to them from their non-physical bodies. But when it comes to living in other dimensional planes, well, they are doing that now by separating themselves in their from their physical bodies to talk to us. But they can take their physical bodies to other dimensional planes. They're saying that the third dimension that we're in, there are other three-dimensional planes that they can cross to, but they vibrate at different frequencies. So we might call them a fifth dimensional plane or a fourth dimensional plane. And when they move up through these dimensions, they are still on the same planet, but they're living on the planet in a different vibrational frequency. So they can shift themselves backwards and forwards.
Okay, that's awesome. Um, does Curtis have anything to say?
Curtis is like, "Hey, ho, how you doing?"
Hey, Curtis.
He says, "Are you having fun? Are you enjoying this? Is this what you wanted? Are we doing it for
Yes.
you?"
Yeah. I know. I've been bugging him for about a month to come on, and I'm honestly I'm really nervous, but at the same time I'm having a really great time, and I'm kind of I'm trying to think of more questions because a whole sheet of my questions were about outer space, and I totally wasn't expecting them to be from Earth. So my
He
bad.
said, but no, he said, but you can still ask those questions because they do occupy outer space now, right? And he said we are dealing with a collective audience here because you can't just go, oh, let's talk to the Nazca aliens, because that is plural. It's a plural thing, and there are many species that we are not aware of. There are many species, so some of them did occupy outer space, but you've got to remember that the evolution of the planet didn't just start with humans, right? Humans are not the ones, they are not the only species, aboriginal species of this planet. There are other aboriginal species of this planet that have evolved here as well he's like from time immemorial. He's like, woo. Kind of
Oh my
silly.
God. Oh man. Okay.
So he said that, and that is really what we wanted to get across on your very first show, to
Yeah.
give people an understanding that it's not all about humans, right? This is all about the longevity of this planet, the evolution of this planet, and the species of this planet have come and go. You know, he said the hundreds of species have risen to power and disappeared, and you'll never find any trace of them because they're many, many thousands of years ago.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Okay, so
He also says, but sorry, he's
no,
interrupting
it's
me. He also
fine.
says that we will get into, at a later time, we could get into like a specific species and just speak to one entity. But for the purposes of this, let's speak to them as a collective voice and understand that they've been here forever, right?
Oh man. Okay. Okay. Well, I actually wanted to talk about the bodies that were found as well, if that's okay. Curtis?
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah. He's like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So specifically, over two of the bodies that were called Alberto and Josephina. And so Josephina, the female, contained eggs in the pelvic cavity that were similar to reptile eggs. And there was also an implant on top of the thorax that did not penetrate the skin. Can you tell us about how you reproduced, the birth process, and also what was that implant on the thorax?
All right. Just remind me of the name again, and maybe I can tune into her energy directly.
Well, they had named
I
them.
know. Yeah,
Joseph.
I know, but the human name for her is it will still connect to her energy because it's been applied to that body, that mummified body. So
Okay.
Josephine,
Yeah, Josephina.
Josephine, mm, Josephine. I don't know if I can tune into them as individuals because Curtis has brought them through as a collective.
Gotcha.
Let me just try. I can feel her energy, and she feels very shy, quiet. Um, she's very sweet, but she's very timid, very timid. Um, and I almost feel like I'm dealing with something quite primitive here, but that could just be my interpretation. Josephina, will you speak to us? I don't know if I'm going to get a conversation out of her directly, but she's so gentle and sweet. And,
Aw.
it's just like dealing with a child, the energy of a child, a very shy child.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I wonder if she was a child, because she was a smaller body. So I'm
oh,
thinking maybe
right.
she was a
Okay.
child.
That might actually make sense then
Yeah.
that you said that. I didn't know which body it was. So, right. Okay. All right. Maybe we've got to talk to the other one. What's the other one called?
Alberto?
Alberto. Well, have they made a genetic connection? Because I get father. They should be able to tell you if it's father, daughter. But I get at least father. It's the father figure to to her anyway. They were killed for some purpose. What was the purpose? They're very hard to communicate with directly. It's really odd. Literally, I've never, the vibration that they are coming through, and I've not matched it before. I don't really know how to.
That's interesting.
How to deal with it. So I keep getting that they were killed as part of some plan, some event that was happening. They are hybrids.
They're hybrids?
They're hybrids. They're hybrids. And I don't feel like they had a lot of like freedom in their existence. Like they were controlled by something different, something other. So Josephina, you said, had eggs inside her. Let's see if I can get information about how they reproduced. So this is coming from, not from them directly, but from them as a collective. So reproduction, I'm hearing, was quite a challenge for them as hybrids. Reproduction is difficult because of the hybridization. Whoever was working on their DNA was trying to breed out the egg. Was trying to breed that part out of them so that they were more mammal-like. And so there was problems with how they had kids, There was problems with that. So these don't feel like a highly evolved species at all. The intelligence that I'm getting it's a bit like talking to an animal.
Really?
Very similar vibration to talking to an animal. And it could just be that we are so far removed from each other energetically, I can't reach them on my level. I'm looking at the eggs. And they look misshaped. The eggs inside the body, I don't know what the actual pictures look like. They look odd. Something odd about them. And I feel like she was actually in a lot of pain with those eggs in there. That was a very difficult thing for her. Like, she was more of an incubator than a birth mother.
Wow.
And a lot of feelings and impressions, not like Curtis coming through and just talking. These are really challenging to get to. So I think when I got father of
Josephina.
the eggs, not Josephina, but the eggs, father
eggs.
Yeah, you might have to ask some more questions. I'm sorry, this is like one of the most difficult challenges I've ever.
Oh, no problem. Actually, we are reaching the 30-minute mark, and so that actually that flew by pretty quickly. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and split up this video. Right now we're watching part 1, and then next week we'll get into part 2. Alison, do you want to say any final words before we go to a close?
No. This is really interesting for me, and for it to be such a struggle, that's interesting. I'm really just interpreting energy, and I might not be interpreting it correctly because I've not come across anything like this before. So interesting.
That's cool though, to like come across something you've never come across before.
Yeah,
And to
yeah, that's always fun. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, so until next week, thank you so much for watching Astral Ivory, and I'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.